Hello YouTube! So, today, just a fun video. I came across this challenge to name 100 women, and I'm gonna give it a go. But I think that naming 100 women is too easy. There are so many women out there in the world. I mean, come on, anybody could do 100, right? So I'm going to name 100 women who are cool. 100 women who have contributed something positive to the world. 100 women that you should know something about. That is the challenge that I am going to set for myself. And it has to be women that are celebrities, basically. It can't just be women you know. They have to be real. And yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm going to say that the time limit is 30 minutes. If I do it in 30 minutes, I win. If not, I fail, and I shall forevermore be known as a chauvinist. So yes, can I demonstrate that I love women? Well, we'll see. Let's begin then. Let's get right to it with the best woman in the world, Hillary Clinton. No, I'm joking, of course. She will not be on the list. Verity Lambert, the first female producer at the BBC, who was the first producer of Doctor Who, the mother of Doctor Who. And so she is the number one woman. Now, the rest of this list is not going to be in order, but let's just keep going anyway. Delia Derbyshire. She worked at the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. She was a pioneer of electronic music, and she was partly involved in creating the Doctor Who theme tune and did some of the soundtracks as well, sound design and stuff. Now, that also reminds me of Daphne Aram, another pioneering electronic musician from the BBC Radiophonic Workshop. Although, having said all of this, I noticed that it's not coming up in the correct guesses column. But Delia Derbyshire really is a woman, I assure you, and she is a very, very super cool one. Daphne Aram, given her, we have to include Daphne Dare, who was the costume designer. Actually, she designed the most costumes for Doctor Who in the 1960s. She has more credits, I think, than any other costume designer. American glamour model and porn actress. Well, that's not the Daphne Dare that I had in mind, I must say. I wonder if I get, like, if I can just get the other... No, you already guessed her. Well, yes, that's not the Daphne Dare that I was thinking of. So, you know, I mean, I wonder if porn actress... I mean, I wonder if they've got Darcy the Mail Girl from Joe Bob's Last Drive-In. No, I guess I would have to put her porn name in. But anyway, let's... okay, let's try to do this in a slightly more structured way, shall we? So, okay. Scientists. Cool women of science. Annie Jump Cannon. What a fantastic name. Annie Jump Cannon. She was an American astronomer who played a very important role in the development of stellar classification schemes. Henrietta Swan Leavitt. She was another astronomer. She discovered the period luminosity relationship of Cepheid variable stars, which helped to establish cosmic distances. Very important in that. Who else? Caroline Herschel, of course, the sister of William Herschel, made lots of discoveries regarding comets and stuff. Vera Rubin, she did work on galaxy rotation curves, helped to establish the existence of dark matter. Any other ladies of astronomy? Oh, Jocelyn Bell Burnell discovered the first pulsar. Okay, so yes, there are some astronomers. Anything else? Well, obviously there are some other big names, of course. Marie Curie, and Marie Curie reminds me of Mary Tharp. Mary Tharp discovered the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which I think was the key piece of evidence in establishing plate tectonics. I think that she basically... I mean, obviously, the idea of like continental drift and stuff was developed by Alfred Wegener, but it took many decades for that to be accepted, and it was Marie Tharp's discovery of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, I think, which sort of prompted that paradigm shift in the sort of 60s and 70s. Although actually, when she first discovered it, for many years it was dismissed. I think her PhD supervisor just called it girl talk. So you know. Uh, anyway, yes. Other ladies of science. Well, we got Barbara McClintock. Barbara McClintock. Who else have we got? Oh no, apparently we don't have Barbara. But I'm thinking of transposon geneticist Barbara. I'm sure. Did I? Or is it Barbara McClintock, perhaps? Yes, Barbara McClintock. Okay, Barbara McClintock. Lynn Margulis, very cool woman. She discovered endosymbiosis, or at least she sort of pushed endosymbiosis as a major factor in evolutionary history. And ended up she was something of a radical, actually, scientific radical. Even into the I think 2000s, she was still defending the idea that AIDS was caused by, I think, the syphilis thing. It was related to that somehow, like a syphilis parasite, and wasn't caused by HIV. So she had some kind of crazy ideas. But she was a maverick. Married for a while to Carl Sagan, although I think she was a lot cooler than Carl Sagan. So that's she was pretty cool. Lynn Margulis. Yeah, who else have we got? Any other ladies of science? Any other ladies of science? Lisa Feldman Barrett works in psychology, defends a constructionist account of emotions. Okay, so I think we need to start moving things a little bit faster here. So I can bang out a lot of women very quickly, because if you've ever watched me talk about anything other than philosophy, you will have seen me talk about Doctor Who, and so I can just go through all of the Doctor Who companions, and by that I mean Doctor Who 1963 to 1989. We do not count anything after that. Yes, Carol Ann Ford played Susan. After that was Maureen O'Brien, who played Vicky. And after Vicky, we have Jackie Lane, who played Dodo. No, we don't. Almost forgot there. Almost forgot Adrian Hill, who played Katerina. She wasn't in it for very long, but she was in it, and she's allowed to be included. I guess we might as well include Jean Marsh, who played Sarah Kingdom. She was kind of a companion. Anyway, then we've got Annika Wills, Polly. We've got who I was about to write Caroline John as Liz Shaw, but I'm skipping over. I don't know why I did that. Skipping over Deborah Watling as Victoria, Wendy Padbury as Zoe, and now we can do Caroline John as Liz Shaw, Katie Manning as Jo Grant. Actually, Katie Manning is is an interesting one for me, because I used to have this book. When I was a kid, I had this book which had some photographs Katie Manning took after she left the show, where she had taken some nude photos in a magazine, nude photos of her with a Dalek, and I can tell you that I guess I can't really tell you, because this is YouTube, and I can't really. I'm limited in what I can say, but let me just say I discovered an interesting new facet of what it was to be a biological organism when I when I saw those photos of Katie Manning. Anyway, we're into Janet Fielding, Tegan. I hope I'm not missing anybody here. Nicola Bryant as Perry. Feels like I'm missing someone. Well, if I am, then I am. Bonnie Langford as Mel. Sophie Aldred as Ace, and that's that for the Doctor Who companions. Can that really be it? There must be. Anyway, now I might as well include the first female Doctor. Of course, if you know anything about Doctor Who, you're probably thinking, "Oh, you're about to write Jodie Whittaker." No, I won't do that, because like I say, it doesn't. I'm afraid that doesn't really count. The first female Doctor, and in fact only female Doctor, was Joanna Lumley. From The Curse of Fatal Death. And Joanna Lumley is kind of cool in other ways as well. She was in Sapphire and Steel, which is a really, really kind of dark and spooky sort of science fiction fantasy from the 70s really worth watching if you're into, if you're into, I guess, vintage TV. Right. Okay. 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 We're more than a third of the way through, and we're not at 10 minutes yet, which is a good sign. But where do we go now? How about some ladies of philosophy? So, ladies of philosophy. Ladies of philosophy. Catherine Elgin. Margaret Morrison. These are some somewhat Margaret Margaret Morrison. Nancy Cartwright. I assume that when I write Nancy Cartwright, it's going to recognise this as the voice actress. Yes, there we go. It's the voice actress for Bart Simpson. But that's not the Nancy Cartwright I had in mind. Will it accept another Nancy Cartwright? No, it won't. But I'm actually thinking of the Nancy. The thing is actually both Nancy Cartwrights are really cool. So I mean, they should both be on the list, really. But anyway, I was thinking of How the Laws of Physics Lie, Penelope Maddie, Susan Hack, and of course that makes me think as well of Susan Wolf. Who else have we got? Oh, Carol Cleland, cool sort of philosopher of biology, did a lot of cool work on the shadow biosphere. Okay. Look, there are some philosophers who are coming to mind, but I'm not sure I really want to include. I mean, look, yes, Pat Churchland. I could put Pat Churchland on the list, but to be honest, I don't really like Pat Churchland very much. Okay, so I'm not really into her. She's not cool. I'm sorry, I just don't think she's very cool. Paul Churchland is cool, but this is not name 100 cool men, is it? It's name 100 cool women. Look, maybe I'll put Pat Churchland on the list if I sort of run out of names towards the end. But for now, we're not putting her on. There's got to be a few more. There's got to be more, though. Why am I not thinking of them? Mary Lang. Mary Lang, philosopher of mathematics. Yeah. You know who I'm putting on the list is Andrea Dworkin. Everybody hates Andrea Dworkin, don't they? Well, lots of people hate her. But I like her because she was uncompromising, and I mean, obviously my own attitudes are not really in line with hers. I'm more of a sort of, degenerate civil libertarian. Although, having said that, what's nice about Andrea Dworkin, I suppose, is that she, insofar as she was campaigning against pornography and stuff, she never supported obscenity laws or anything like that. She tried to do it from the point of view of defending civil liberties, which is, I mean, but anyway, the point is, I think that she was admirable for for who she was, and she was misinterpreted in many ways. I think it was John Berger who said she was the most misinterpreted writer in the Western world, and it's a man who said that, so that's a reliable judgment. Anyway, I'm just kind of like waffling here because I'm a little bit stuck, and I'm sure there's got to be some other women philosophers, but they are not coming to mind. I'm sorry, they're not coming to mind. Okay. All right, whatever. Let's just move on. So maybe that's it for the philosophers. Let's think about musicians. The women musicians. So, who are some cool women musicians? The drummer to the Velvet Underground was a woman, but I'm not remembering her name, which is annoying. Who are some cool women musicians? Okay, Sachiko M. I'm thinking of Japanese women. I don't know why, but Sachiko M does a lot of like avant-garde electronic music. She's very cool. Then we've got June Togawa, and I think is it Akiko Yano? They sort of did kind of quite eclectic sort of art, pop, rock stuff. And Akina Nakamori as well. Yeah, Akina Nakamori is another one in that sort of domain. Midori Takada, wonderful album of sort of ambient music combined with world music called Through the Looking Glass. Wendy Carlos, who did a brilliant microtonal album called Beauty and the Beast, and also was the no, I'm pretty sure. Did I spell that right? Yes. Look, Wendy. Okay, Wendy Carlos. For some reason, how do you not know? How do you, like, what? How have you got like Sachiko M and Midori Takada, but you don't have Wendy Carlos? Wendy Carlos did the soundtracks for Clockwork Orange and The Shining. What? Unless it's because she's trans. Is it? Do we not allow trans women on this? Let's see a few trans women. Candy Darling? Yes or no? What? It just doesn't. Let's try again. Candy Darling. Are you going to accept Candy Darling? I mean, the quiz is just. It doesn't accept Candy Darling either. Okay. Is this like a turf quiz? Like what? um. Okay. Look. I'm not cheating. All right, but I have to look on my phone and find the names of some like famous, like really famous trans women, because I want to know whether this quiz will accept any trans women. All right, so I'm just gonna look up famous names, right? Famous names. So let's see, famous trans women, famous trans women. Okay, yeah, Caitlyn Jenner, of course. Laverne Cox. All right, let's try them. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner? No. Laverne Cox. Damn. Okay, it's damn. It's a turf quiz. XX chromosomes only for this quiz, it seems. Alright, that's interesting. Okay, no trans women allowed. Right, well, damn. Okay, Wendy Carlos is not permitted on the correct guesses list. Right. Let's get back to it, though. So, alright, I'm just gonna, like I say, XX chromosome women only. Kate Bush. Kate Bush. She's definitely very, very cool, and she is allowed on the list. So Madonna, I like Madonna. She's got her 80s albums are fantastic, and I like how sexually liberated she was. I think she's really cool. Another really cool one actually is Sinead O'Connor. And yeah, I feel like I should, it's troubling me a little bit how I'm not. Oh, Sade, right? I like Sade. Diamond Life is a good album, but it is troubling me a little bit how I'm sort of stumped about, because like there are loads of women in music and I should know them. The Raincoats are all women. Their album Oddie Shape is fantastic, but I don't know their names. I know that it's the Raincoats. I don't know their names, so I can't put them on the list. There's got to be some more women in music. Kim Gordon of Sonic Youth, of course. And then there's Talking Heads, who I think it's Tina Weymouth. Yes. Now, all right, let's think about it in terms of genre. Free jazz, okay? Women of free jazz. Yes, there are women of free jazz. There's Alice Coltrane, wife of John Coltrane, who's, I suppose, better known, but Alice Coltrane's got really cool stuff too. Linda Sharrock did a lot of work with Sonny Sharrock. Her performances on Monkey Pocky Boo and Black Woman are fantastically good. She's a free jazz vocalist, and other free jazz vocalists, Jian Lee, her album Conspiracy is really good. Patty Waters, she did some kind of like spooky sort of free jazz albums in the 1960s. So some names for you there. There we go. Add that to the list. Any other jazz ladies? Right. Okay. Let's just try something else here. Actresses. Nancy Allen did some fantastic performances in some Brian De Palma movies. Her performance in Blowout one of the best performances ever. Great in Dress to Kill as well. Cheryl Lee. I recently rewatched Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. I don't really like Twin Peaks, the TV series. I'm not into it, but I think Fire Walk with Me is an amazing film. I think it's David Lynch's masterpiece, and Cheryl Lee provides an absolutely extraordinary performance in that movie. So she gets added to the list. We've got Shelley Duvall, of course, from The Shining and from Three Women. I think it's spelled like that. And then Three Women, of course, reminds me of Sissy Spacek. And yes, yeah. So those are some ladies of the movies. Those are some ladies of the movies. Are they the only ones? Definitely not. But okay, film director Catherine Bigelow. She directed Near Dark, Point Break, Strange Days. 3 fantastic movies. I think that I've seen a few other of her movies that weren't so fantastic. But to be honest, if you do a set of movies like Near Dark, Point Break, and Strange Days, I mean, you can. Yeah, I mean, that's sort of enough, isn't it? I mean, you've definitely contributed something cool there. Another great female filmmaker was Lynn Stopkiewicz, who directed, I think I'm going to spell that right, she directed this movie called Kissed, which is a really interesting film that is about necrophilia, but it's like a romance movie, but it's directed with this incredible sensitivity, you know. It's actually quite moving. It's really worth checking out. There's a movie called My Brilliant Career, which was directed by, I think it was Gillian Armstrong. My Brilliant Career is an amazing film. And the woman in it who performed the central role, Judy Davis, amazing film from 1979 that I think has probably the best representation I've ever seen of the urge to individuality, to autonomy. There's a lot of movies that organised around a presenting like somebody who wants to assert their individuality. Like some of those. Werner Herzog does this. Herzog's movies are all about these sort of visionaries with impossible dreams. And the thing is that like a lot of the art that sort of displays individuals, it's people who have kind of obsessions or like talents. And what's fascinating about My Brilliant Career is that the central character is not an obsessive, and she's not a visionary, and she's not particularly talented at anything. But she's still like, no, it's I'm me, and I'm going to pursue my thing and do my. It's the best representation I've ever seen of that, and it's breathtaking in many ways. I mean, look, again, I'm kind of rambling. So Gillian Armstrong puts me in mind of Gillian Anderson, another very cool Gillian Anderson, Scully from the X-Files. Judy Davis reminds me of Julia Davis, who is a British comedian, does a lot of like kind of black comedy stuff. Helen Mirren. She's pretty cool. She was in, Cook the Thief, His Wife and Her Lover. She was in Caligula. Caligula's a very underrated film. Like, Caligula's really good. I saw Caligula recently. Like, it was absolutely trashed when it first came out, but like, it's fantastic in lots of ways. Anyway, again, I shouldn't get distracted, should I? Because I'm also remembering now Linda Hamilton and Jamie Lee Curtis. So there we go. We got some more film-related people. There's a movie that's a really great film called Slumber Party Massacre 2, which is just it's absolutely ridiculous kind of slasher film, basically. It's just totally absurd. But at the same time, it's like trashy and absurd, but it has this wonderful kind of ambient, dreamy sort of quality to it. And it's directed by a woman, but I can't remember her name. So I can't put her on the list. Right. Okay. So, actresses. There's got to be more female musicians like that. I know that what's going to happen. Yoko Ono, of course, Yoko Ono. I think Yoko Ono is really cool. Okay, a lot of people don't like Yoko Ono. I don't care. I think she's cool. I love the unfinished music albums she did with John Lennon. I love Fly. Fly, I think, is just one of my favorite albums ever. Approximately Infinite Universe, great album. So she goes on the list too. I know what's going to happen here is that there is. I'm going to go away after uploading this, and I will remember a bunch of women that I should have put on the list. I'm forgetting some obvious names, aren't I? I must be. Right, we are at 74. Right, that's not bad, right? But we need another 25. So there are other look, there are other women that I do know about. It's just like, are they cool? Is the question. Like, look, like I said, Pat Churchland, but I don't think she's that cool. Martha Nussbaum, maybe she's cool. I just don't really remember her work well enough at this point to be able to make that judgment. So who have I got in terms of philosophy? Because philosophy, I mean, I know quite a lot about it, and therefore I should be able to, that's not a lot of philosophers listed, are there? We need a few more philosophers. Well, who are some other philosophers? Did I include... No, I didn't include Philippa Foot. Well, she can go on the list. Yeah. I mean, there's Ruth Millikan. Is she cool? She's probably cool. Ruth Barkin Marcus. I just, like I said, I really want this to be a list of, women that in some sense I'm endorsing. Okay. So we got to be a bit selective here, and that is the challenge. Yes, that's the challenge. Daphne Dare, costume designer, makes me think of Mary Quant, who was a fashion designer in the 1960s, and really played a major role, I guess, in the 60s aesthetic in Britain. How about some artists? Yeah, artists. Okay. Helen Frankenthaler. She does some cool abstract art. There's Janet Sobel, who is not so well known, but she actually developed the drip painting technique that was popularized by Jackson Pollock. Pollock, to be fair, probably did it better, but this is a classic case of something that was invented by a woman, but a man took all the credit. A man got the credit for it. But Janet Sobel, yeah, she's another abstract artist who did drip painting. Hilma af Klint, I think, is her name. One of the pioneers of abstract art. And who else is there? Alison Smithson was one of the pioneers of brutalist architecture. Yes. So those are some artists. Any other artists? There's got to be some more artists. Hannah Hock, Dadaist artist. Okay, so we're over 80. 81. I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit worried about the timer at this point. I don't think I'm going to get another 20 in 2.5 minutes. I mean, damn, it started out so well, didn't it? It started out so well. But, oh God, this is a disaster. What? Why? Oh, okay. Pauline Oliveros. So she is sort of modern composer. Pioneered electronic composer. Okay, Pauline Oliveros. So there was somebody else who was in my head then. Anea Lockwood. Elaine Redig. Okay, right. She did so there's Judy Dunaway did an album of balloon music. She used balloons to make this sort of avant-garde music. So okay, there's some more names there, right? Oh man, I want to get up to. Can we at least get up to 90? We've got like just over a minute left. Can I break 90 at least? This is damn. Oh, there's got to be some people that I'm forgetting. Who am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting? Okay, actresses. Linda Hamilton. Oh man, this is. Damn, this isn't as easy as it looks. Um, my mind is blank. It's gone blank. Oh no, I'm not going to do it, am I? Oh, I'm not even going to get. I'm not even going to get up to 90. Damn, my mind is blank. Oh, this is a disaster. Well, I failed. Yeah, man, that was I feel like it started out well, but there we go. That is, I failed. I failed. There we go. Kane Baker, ultimate chauvinist. I was not able to name 100 cool women. I had 30 minutes. I feel like that should have been doable. You know, it should have been doable. Well, that's the end of that video.